Hello and welcome to another episode of the Terry McGriff Show, man. Just another beautiful day in the United States of America, Jacksonville, Florida, with my illustrious co-host, Andre L. Sullivan, playing in his hair at those beautiful iHeart studios. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. Thank God I'm inside because it's hot outside. But I mean, I'm blessed.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Me too. I mean, I'm happy because we just completed our first official week with the Women's Tackle Football League. So my little garb today is in honor of all those teams, all those players who had their first games, regular season games in almost 2 years, some of them over 2 years. And they were getting a chance to get out there and play some ball and have some fun and live their little football dreams, man. It was really, really good. Just wanted also tell all of our fans we appreciate it. I know I had a lot of people hit me up on things about me going back to football and some of the other things. So I'd like to tell all the fans, thank you, all those players, thank you, personal, just say thank you. It was so much fun. I watched a few games streaming. A lot of things went on. Also, like to thank our sponsors, Watch Game Film, She Car, Team Sportswear Direct. They had them girls out there looking sharp. Also, Laces Out Foundation and the Demp Project. Man, let me tell you, it was so much fun during the weekend.
Sports we
got my boy here. He's a little distracted over there, but that's all right. While I'm talking, I mean, it was just a fun weekend. We also got some pretty fun topics to talk about this week, my friend. I mean, we're gonna talk a little bit about what people talking still here about Tom Brady. You know, they had all these guys coming back with the Buccaneers and stuff, but a lot of shade's been thrown the way of Bill Belichick. And so I wanted to come back and give some people some facts here and some things about what they need to know about the GOAT when it comes to coaching. In my opinion, the GOAT of coaching is still Bill Belichick, because people just think about him when he was since he's been with the Patriots, but the man's been around the league for a long time and he's paid his dues and he's done a lot of good things. He won a lot of games for teams and get the credit for, especially as the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants. And he's done a lot of good things. And if it wasn't for him, we'll talk about that. We'll go into that. The next thing we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that we've been hearing here about these things are opening up. People starting to get their vaccinations. But I know the first one I heard a few weeks ago, LSU's talking about they're going to have full stadiums, and the SEC and most of the teams have said they're going to have full stadiums, and all the NFL came out and that's what they're going to do. And also we had the schedule release last week after the show, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And one of the big things I want to talk about, been back and forth about the what players, training at the facilities and stuff like that. Some news came out about a couple of people, and we want to talk about that. So, my friend, let's jump into it. Anything you want to talk about? Other than that, how was your weekend?
I mean, I'm good, man. Shoot, it was long as I get my food, I'm good. You feel me?
I feel you, my friend. I feel you. So let's jump right into it. So the talk has been, Tom Brady, he went to Tampa, won his championship. So, Belichick is not as great as even if he didn't have Tom Brady. And I tell people, I big time beg to differ on that. Belichick is one of the greatest football minds that ever walked this planet. And put some respect on that man's name, because he's done it wherever he's been. You know what I mean? Yes, he won all these championships with the Patriots, but you look at all these other teams that won their championship, they won it, with their teams, but they had great players too. I mean, Bill Walsh had Joe Montana and a ton of other great players. All these teams. You look at the Steelers; they've had Hall of Famers. The Hall of Fame coaches usually come with Hall of Fame players. It usually goes kind of hand in hand. I don't know too many guys who won several Super Bowls didn't have some Hall of Famers on their team. So, first of all, I like to say with Brady, yes, Brady is the GOAT. He is great. but you got to take a couple of those Super Bowls he wouldn't have won. And as much as his recent last one with the Patriots, the defense, when they beat the Rams, the defense was the reason why they held them down in order to for them to win that game. So you can't, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And Belichick is a great coach, but he's also just one of the best defensive gurus I've ever seen.
I'm on the other end of that spectrum.
Okay.
And it's not no disrespect to Bill Belichick. Again, you said it yourself. He is one of the greatest football minds that exists. And I think that's why I can't agree with you. Because, yes, he is one of the greatest football minds exists. I think he's one of the best general managers sitting in the NFL today.
Wow, you call him general manager and coach. Okay.
No, I called him a general manager. Hear me out. I think he's one of the best general managers sitting in the NFL today. He does not get enough credit for putting together beautiful meals with the little scraps that he does get. And I think there'll always be an asterisk by his name, and that asterisk is one Tom Brady. And I'm not knocking him for the work he's done without Tom Brady, but I will go and say a stretch is, and you said it yourself, there hasn't been too many Hall of Fame coaches without those Hall of Fame players. And the magic that those two created together cannot be denied. And we can't give Bill Belichick his roses without the stem that is Tom Brady. And if you don't believe me, let's run through some stats here real quick. 280 wins and 136 losses in the regular season. That's magical. I mean, and 300, and he's 311 and 148 in his career overall as a head coach. But hear me out. He's 61 and 72 when Tom Brady is not under center for him. And that right there just tells me that you're a great coach. No, I'm sorry. You're a good coach, but you're a great coach when Tom Brady is the guy under center for you. When Tom Brady is on the field managing what goes on that field, you're that guy. When you don't have Tom Brady, you're a coach. And that's, again, I don't knock anything Bill Belichick has done. The proof, you don't get 311 and 148 career overall by being a run-of-the-mill coach. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to be, hit me up and be like, oh man, you saying Belichick garbage? No, I'm not. But I can't say Bill Belichick's name without mentioning Tom Brady. If Drew Bledsoe never got hurt, do they go to that first Super Bowl? You know what I mean? If Bart Scott didn't just derail Drew Bledsoe's career, do we?
I think it was Mo Williams actually.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do we speak of Bill Belichick this way? He was a great head coach with the Browns. Before they became the Baltimore Ravens, he was an even better defensive coordinator under Bill Parcells. I just feel like as a head coach, when we say Bill Belichick is one of the greatest of our generations, you also have to say with Tom Brady. You know what I mean? And so that's just where I stand on it.
I get you. And that's why I was giving people their props, because there's comparison of Brady without Belichick, then you can't talk about any other of the coaches, because you look at who's the Super Bowl trophy named after? You get what I'm saying? Vince Lombardi. But when you start looking down the list of Vince Lombardi's accomplishments, look at all the Hall of Famers that were on his championship teams. Who was his quarterback? Hall of Famer Bart Starr, quarterback.
Yeah.
Running back Jim Taylor. All the defense Hall of Famers. He's got half his starting lineup on offense and defense are all Hall of Famers. let's go to the next great coach, Bill Walsh. You look, not only did he have one, he had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Hall of Fame receivers. One of the running backs that's a shame that's not in the Hall of Fame, Roger Craig, the first running back to ever have 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing in the same season under him, should be in the Hall of Fame. All these great players that played under these guys, if you name Hall of Fame coach, look at his players. I guarantee you, he has at least one or two Hall of Fame players. Bill Parcells, with Belichick as his defensive coordinator, look, the who's who of Hall of Fame players: Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carsons. Those guys go on and on. And on his teams that these guys had. Who's the next great? You look at the Steelers. I can't even think. Lord, I cannot believe it. Can't remember his name.
So Coward.
Yeah, not Coward, not Coward, because I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet.
You talking about Chuck?
Chuck Knowles, yes. Yeah, Chuck. Forgive me, Chuck, for not putting up. Remember, you Hall of Fame. The damn near the whole team is Hall of Fame. Running back, quarterback, Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, Lynn Swann. You go on and on. Their defense, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert. You're talking about Mean Joe Green. Some of the best. I mean, I'm not even going to all the secondary. They got Hall of Famers all over the place. When you look at these teams, you look at great Hall of Fame coaches. There are going to be Hall of Fame players, and because it seems like it's almost like one hand washes the other. You can't be great without greatness around you. So it is what it is. You look at the teams. You took at the Jaguars. We don't have a Hall of Fame coach yet, but then you look at the players. There ain't no Hall of Fame players around them either. I mean, we got guys that we think should be in the Hall of Fame, but we haven't won a Super Bowl here with the coach we had. The best coach we had in our history so far has been Tom Coughlin. He's took the team to 2 AFC championships. They didn't get over the hump, and maybe that's one of the reasons why none of those guys are in the Hall of Fame yet. Even though we got guys, I think they're the Hall of Fame worthy, like Fred Taylor and Lord have mercy, what's his name? Our left tackle back in the day. So we got guys that that haven't gotten over that hump because they didn't get over that hump in that Super Bowl. And so those things reach hand in hand. And a lot of times, great players make great coaches, and vice versa. Because the coach basically what comes first, chicken or the egg? You had the guy to coach the guy up, to put the game plan together, and the guy had to go out there and execute it to excellence. And these guys did it. So that's why I said yes. Tom Brady is a great player. He is the GOAT. And Belichick, they went 20 years winning 9 Super Bowls. They've lost what? They lost what? 4 of them? 3 or 4 of them? But they went to 9 of them. They won 6 together. I mean, they're both great. I mean, and I'm going to give Belichick his greatness outside of Tom Brady is because of what he did before he had Tom Brady. Obviously, the greatness of Tom Brady was brought out with him because if everybody would have saw the greatness of Tom Brady wouldn't have been a 6th-round pick. Tom Brady saw the greatness of himself, so that's why he went to the owner and said, "I'm the best thing you ever did in your career with this team," and he was right. So like I said, I love the fact that people have that comparison, but there is no one without the other. Tom Brady would not be great without Belichick. Belichick would not be great without Tom. And even with going to Tampa, Tom put the Bucs over the hump. But they won that Super Bowl not because of Tom Brady. They won that Super Bowl because that defense just absolutely controlled the game, and he did his job. Let you get the final word on this topic.
No, I think it's. You kind of summed it up for me. I just feel as if Tom Brady will get the edge in this battle just because he's done it without him.
Mm-hmm.
And and again, I have to keep reiterating because people choose what they want to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick's not a horrible coach. He will go down as a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest coaches to ever. Write X and O on a whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when you coach someone who is the guy, they say awards go to players, the losses go to the coaches, and that's just what it is.
I get you. Okay. All right, let's talk. Let's move on. I'm excited. I finally did get my COVID shot. I went to and got mine, got my Johnson and Johnson, and wanted to make sure because I want to be able to go to some of these games without being harassed. I also want to be able to go. If I want to fly and go travel somewhere next year overseas, I want to make sure I've already got all that stuff done. Once everything is cleared up, I want to be able to do what I need to do freely. And I think a lot of people out there are doing that right now. But what the most exciting part is that, everybody's planning to have everything open. I know here a few weeks ago that they had the first major sporting event where the MMA was here in Jacksonville, and it was a capacity stadium, and they didn't have any mask mandates. And then to find out there was no issues or incidents from it. So to me, that's great news. So let's move forward. I haven't been able to really see what they've done with the Major League Baseball so far and what their attendance has been, or with NBA games. But I'm saying if we get, let's go ahead and if everything's safe, follow the scientists, and if we get the all clear, let's go let everybody back into the arenas. I know some people are still trying to get things together, but those who can go. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy going back to life. I'm a person that always believes you either get busy living or you get busy dying, and I like to live. So I think the fact that we can do this is I'm happy about it. I'm looking forward to the schedule. I know we just had the schedule release, and I think we're going to have a lot of people going to all the games. I plan on attending a couple of games myself, if Lord wills, this year. What do you think? Tell me, what do you think about it, and what do you think about the schedule? First of all, we haven't even talked about that.
Well, I haven't gotten to the schedule itself for a little bit, but if we back up a little bit, I always say, and people, of course, are going to disagree just because it's not a full competition type sport, but the way that the World Wrestling Entertainment does business, I always tip my hat to them because they low key give you the map of how to handle all of this. And just a couple of months ago here, I want to say May or early January, February, March, late March, early April, they had WrestleMania right there in Raymond James Stadium with fans in attendance. And of course, they couldn't set an attendance record because they weren't allowed to pack the place like they would have. But no incidents were reported from that. They had over 40,000 people in Raymond James Stadium. Of course, they had it sectioned off to to a certain extent that they could, but no incidents were reported. The event went on two nights in a row, a Saturday and Sunday, and literally everyone was taken care of. And now we have vaccinations.
Thank God for that.
Let's go. I mean, I think COVID is being one of the strangest epidemic and pandemics that the world has somewhat gotten through. We're not over it yet, but the Bible says, "Lean not to your own understanding."
Say it again.
And so, if this thing has taught us anything, there are people who are hired and certified and well educated enough to tell us how to deal with this. Let's start listening to them. And if they say vaccination is the key to us moving forward, then why not? Listen, go ahead and get shot up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Take all of 15 minutes to do, if that, and let's go move forward because I ain't missing no trips. So yeah,
you gotta come call me because I can book them for us. Get them everything knocked out.
Right, you feel me? Cause I don't even like being home for real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, any reason for me to be on? I just was at Guinea Springs on Saturday, and nobody had on a mask, and we were all good. I went and got checked yesterday morning. Digged all up in my nose. I'm straight. So I'm saying that at the end of the day, if that's what we got to do, then yeah. Now moving forward to the schedule that you kind of brought up, I'm excited. There's a lot. Of course, this was one of the weirdest off seasons in the NFL history. A lot of moving pieces. So one, we're going to see a lot of revenge games. We're one that I'm looking forward is when the Jacksonville Jaguars go to SoFi Stadium and play the LA Rams.
Oh yes.
That's my boy. I love
Jalen, I got you.
I
I
love.
got you.
Hey, if I
I
could see
got you.
Jalen Ramsey in a teal jersey tomorrow, shoot, I might name my firstborn child Jalen. But not real talk. But that's going to be an interesting game.
Mhm.
I think having LA Rams play Detroit Lions was one of the games that definitely piqued my interest as well. Overall, NFL is one of those leagues where who you think might be there at the end might not be there.
Mhm.
Who you think might be there might be there, but you have to let it play out because on any given Sunday, anybody can win or lose. So, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you there. And let's speak it was putting it more Jaguar specific on this one part when he talk about their schedule and the crowd. I think what happened is if you look at what the Jaguars were given to start their schedule this year, it's setting them up so that they can just bring everybody back. I know you were telling me about there was like I don't know what the exact number was, but I want to say it was called around 7,000 people who bought season tickets that had never even attended the Jaguars game before. So that's going to just really, open up some stuff. I mean, going to have more season ticket holders than they ever had before. Not to mention that the way the schedule sets up for them playing, I think Denver's the home opener, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Denver, the home opener. So you're talking about, especially if the rumors get anywhere true about the trade for Aaron Rodgers, even though. But what it sets up, the Jaguars are probably going to come back 1-0 because I don't think Houston's going to be that good of a team. And the way they set their schedule up for the Jaguars to have they could start out there realistically. If you look at it, I could see them starting 3-1. I can see them starting 1-3 too. But I mean, realistically, with the upgrades, if they upgraded the way they upgraded what we think they upgraded on paper, they can start out as a 3-1 team in their first game at home under the new regime with a victory, starting out 2-0. Do I ever think that they'll be a playoff contender after they start 2-0? When they start nah, I don't see that. I see them winning about 7 or 8 games most. But I mean, that's a significant upgrade compared to what we've had around here the last few years. Plus, I think the excitement level of them being a more professional looking on offense is really going to be exciting. And it's going to make the fans, with the Tebow factor, if he makes the roster, we spoke about that last week, you're going to have more people want to get their behinds in those seats, not just here in Jacksonville, but around the country to watch more games. Obviously, down south, everybody that can go to an SEC football game going to be there. I'm just going. Let's just go not to a major power in the SEC. Let's just go to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is known for the Grove and how they had their pregame celebrations. I want to be somebody just to film that one for me and show me what they doing when they get their first home game out there in Ole Miss because all their traditions are going to be in full effect. All the tailgating, all those things. I think that's, to me, they're going to be even the more exciting thing about having full stands. The fact that you're going to be able to go back and do your pregame routines. The people going to be out there tailgating. The people out there going to be partying, your postgame stuff. I think that's going to be more impactful. And really the impact that it's going to do to their local economies, to all the people who sell the parking spots and all the people who selling the T-shirts on the side and got their little side hustles because of the games in town. I think I'm more really excited for them and more excited for them than even the fans.
Agreed.
So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. Okay, so we got our feelings about that. All right, let's jump to this thing here. I know you've seen what's going on with the Denver Broncos situation. They released the the lineman Jawan James, because he got injured and he was doing some training or some things off the facility. I know that the Players Association have been trying to encourage some of the players to come to the trainings and certain things of that nature for whatever reason, I don't know. And the NFL kind of countered this whole thing by, saying if you are injured and you're not at the facility training, they're not going to pay you. And actually some of the ones trying to avoid their contracts and stuff like that. So I'm asking you as a media guy and an expert, what is your opinion? And do you think the players really gain anything by training away from the facility?
I got asked this question Sunday when I was watching Trevor Lawrence throw the ball in Jacksonville for the first time, which was interesting itself. And he has his own personal training that he does away from, of course, the stadium and the Jacksonville Jaguars facility. I'm on the fence about it. And here's the pro side of it. The pro side of it is that a lot of people who tend to train away from their actual organization has been working with the trainer that they're training with probably since high school, if not midway through their collegiate career. And so there's a familiarity there that someone who knows you knows how hard to push you, what they can get out of you, what you can and cannot do. That's the pro side of it to it. So, and I know that as a player, especially if I'm an agent, I know that me sending this person to this guy or woman, that I'm going to get 100% out of him before they even go to their actual camp. The con side of it to it is that every team in the NFL, every team in any professional league has a particular regimen that they put their players on. They have what they want them to eat, or a certain amount of time that they should be sleeping and napping, snacks, workouts, weights, conditioning, and deviating from that plan not only puts the player in jeopardy, but it puts the organization in jeopardy. And that is the issue that the NFL has with it. Now, with that being said, which side do I tend to go on more? I could not tell you. It really just depends on the athlete. And my first thought is to tell all rookies, don't do it right now. Take a year off from the training that you've been doing to get to this point and fully engulf yourself into the experience of the NFL. That way, if you want to go back to it, do what you got to do at that point. But just take a time off of it. For my veterans, if they want to go work out somewhere else, please let them. Because if you're a 5-year veteran, you've already gotten past the standard for NFL being an NFL player, which is 3 years. 2, over time, how to get your body to where you need your body to be. And 3, the most important part, sometimes you need a break from the city or the view or whatever workout you're in to get the best out of your body. Listen, the grass looks the same in August as it does in February in any practice facility. The pad that you hit is going to feel the same in what we're in May, June, July, August, and September. And some people need a break from that. And I don't think the powers that be, 1, get it because they're not the ones doing it. And 2, that they don't care. They, their job is to protect the shield and the organization. So they're going to do whatever is in the best interest of the shield and the organization. So I can't necessarily say which side I'm on. I will, however, make a declaration to say that should a player choose to do so, send those workouts, send that regimen. These are, I think people tend to forget, these are grown ass men. like they're gonna do whatever they want to do, regardless, and there is nothing in their contract barring them from doing so. We had to tell some of our students, I had to tell some of my players today, hey, the pen is mightier than the sword. So if it's not in black and white, everything is left up to interpretation. So
I get you. And just I want to piggyback on some of the stuff you're saying about this, and I get where both sides are coming from. And I would agree with you when it comes to rookies. Man, get your butt to that facility, get in that playbook, especially if you're not a first, second, or third round pick. You better be at the facility because you better get them. You want them guys, them coaches, and everybody in that building to like you first.
yeah,
That's the first thing you got to get them to do. First thing you get to them to know who you are. Secondly, thing you get them to like you because if you don't, every mistake you have is amplified. It also cuts. It also makes your leash just that much shorter. Because if you consider it expendable and I don't have any feelings or kind of find somebody else who can replace you, but you go very quickly and find somebody who can replace you because you just haven't earned that. So if you're, like I said, once again, if you're a low round pick, undrafted free agent rookie, or if you just a second year free agent rookie, have your butt in that facility, have them guys knowing you, have them guys bragging about you, and do it. Then once you get yourself established and you got a few couple of $1 million in your pocket, first of all, let's just like you said last week about them jerseys. When you training away from that facility, you paying out your pocket. That ain't free. Everything you do in the facility is FREE. You get to eat for free. Matter of fact, like you said, they housing some of you guys. They housing you and all that stuff. So if you are undrafted rookie, or if you even a fourth round and you ain't got that money, even if you're a first round pick, I would say go in there where they paying for everything. That way, that money, your first checks, you can invest it the way you want to do. You know what I mean? But if you there, you need to be there and letting them take care of you and letting them, first of all, show you how to be an NFL athlete. You're not a college athlete anymore. Them grown men bodies, that's grown man strength at the NFL level. That ain't a young man strength. And it's a totally different thing. And you need to be around those other veterans who there. And you like to say, you need to get yourself established in your building. Not even worrying about the community yet. Get in the building. Get established in the building. Secondly, like I said, everything else is taken care of. You don't have to worry about nothing. And the main thing, as like the NFL said, if you get hurt outside of this facility, they ain't paying a dime for you. No rehab, no nothing. And Jawan James, I kind of feel sorry for the young man because he took some bad advice and decided he was going to take the training away from there. And you gave your team, who you hadn't played for in a couple of years, a reason that they can not have to pay you no more. So hopefully this will be a lesson business-wise for the rest of these younger guys out there. Yes, if you, you can train too much, but if you're doing something totally different than what they're doing at the facility, that shouldn't hurt you either. If you want to you go get your training first at the facility, and then you want to do some extra stuff with a personal guy that's been training you, especially if it's specific, position specific. But to be trying to train away just because you don't want to be at the facilities and you ain't earned that clout yet, I suggest to you, don't do it, guys. Don't do it at the high school level. Don't do it at the college level until you establish yourself in your facility and these people know your worth ethic. And I think that's what we'll kind of leave it right there because we make that message clear. Man, it's been a good show. We got it's a shorty but a goodie. A lot of stuff going on in my life. I know a lot of stuff you got going on in your life. We're gonna probably do next week is we're gonna do something that we haven't done yet. We're gonna celebrate being doing this show for over a year the next episode. I wanted to celebrate you. Wanted to celebrate our friends. Want to celebrate our producer Granville and a couple other people to help us get this thing started. Wanted to do some thank yous to our our wonderful sponsors. Once again, folks, fans out there, if you like what you're seeing, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to our channel and please support our people who support us. And just wanted to say thank you. I got some family situations, so our fans keep us in prayer out there. We got some family issues going on with some health issues with some people in close to me. And once again, I want to tell the people in our league, thank you. It was a great first week. Looking forward to week 2. Got some big matchups this week. Looking forward to it. And until next week, for my illustrious co-host here, Andre L. Sullivan, our producer, Andre, Granville Moody Fowler, and all of you folks out there, we'll see you back here same time next week on the Terry McGriff Show. Bye.